Okay, I have been playing with React Suspenders, and I wanted to get some practice with what are called preloaders. Preloaders are a way to tell the cache to start preloading something that we might use. We might not use it, and that's fine. We can just ignore it if we don't end up using it. But it's a way to help avoid waterfall requests. So a waterfall request is when you have some data that's dependent on some other data. So you make the first request, and then you find out what other stuff there's inside of there, and so you can make the next request, and maybe there's some more information there, and you can make the next request. And we don't want that because every single time it's a round trip, and it's serial, so we have to wait for each earlier piece of data to get the later piece of data. But if we can make some guesses, then we could speed up the app and not have to go back and forth to the network in serial requests. So let's see what a waterfall request looks like. So I'm going to click on Betty here. And we see our first request. This is our cores request to see if it accepts cores. And then this is the actual data where we go and get Betty's data. And then inside of there, we have Betty's avatar. So I'm going to copy that because we'll probably want it later. And then once we know her avatar, then we can actually go and fetch it. So we can see this waterfall of requests. Each request depends on the request before it. So kind of slow down the app. But if we could guess, so Betty.jpg and Betty, those are the same ID. So in this case, I could say, here's my expected or guessed avatar. And we'll paste in what I copied earlier. And then we're going to guess it. So we're going to guess that it's the ID of the contact that we're requesting. Maybe it's different. And then what we're going to say is preload image guest avatar, and we're going to pass it this cache too. Okay, so actually we don't even need this as a variable. We can just dump this in there all the way. Let's do it. So what we're saying is go ahead and start loading this, but don't wait for it. This line, React is going to wait because read contact is one of these readers, and it's going to wait for this promise to resolve before React moves forward with rendering. But this one, React's not going to wait for it. It's just going to say, okay, I'll start loading that, but I'm not going to block rendering on it. So now, if I say, and then as we come down here, we ask for this image. Image has a loader in it too, and we're going to pass in just the contact's avatar. So if we guessed right, then we've got this image already primed in the cache. If we guessed wrong, it's fine. We just discard it, don't worry about it, and then we'll get a waterfall of requests if our guess was incorrect. So I'm going to save this, and we should see a different picture here. First, the app's going to reload, so let's clear that out. Now let's go click on Jack. Look at that. So, no more waterfall. These two requests come at the same time. And in fact, we get Jack's avatar before we even get Jack's data. Now, there's nothing we can do about this waterfall where we have to do the cores thing. You first have to, well, we won't get into that. But anyway, we're able to get that image before we even get to Jack. Now, if we come down here to one of these Noname, here we tried to get the image, we tried to guess it based off of their ID, but that was not the actual link for their image. So we've got a 404, it doesn't matter, we just ignored it, we tried to preload it, nothing came. And so then when our real data landed, React waited because it wasn't in the cache, and then it filled it in.